My dad had his 13th heart attack. I went to UCL Medical Center. And they're treating him like dirt. And I lose it. I'm like, you guys better take care of my dad, and you guys better do this, and you guys better do that. I lose it, 23 years old. Completely lost it. Throwing stuff around, they're bringing security, escorting me out of the hospital, and I'm just lashing out at them. You don't do anything to my dad. It's like, you crossed the line there. And then one person says this to me. Hey, listen, if you had money, you could get better insurance and get better doctors to take care of your dad. But you didn't pay for this. Government's paying for this. This is called public health insurance. Oof, fuse. He's right. I went in the car downstairs. In my Ford Focus at the time, I'd lost everything. My girlfriend left me. We're about to get married. 49, everything is bad. I'm in my car, okay? 30 minutes, I'm crying like a little baby, okay? 30 minutes. Some of you guys brag about going to clubs. I was so committed Tuesday through Sunday. You know your hardcore party if you go to clubs on Tuesday night. So this isn't the Patrick you know today. It was a complete different guy. That night, in my Ford Focus, I didn't see a single girl. Nothing. I saw through people. I fully got it. My dad's not going to work at this 99-cent store ever again. The Bet David family? Oh, divorce, Middle Eastern, mom and dad got a divorce. Poor Bet David, he's probably going to be a bad kid. I hear he had a 1.8 GPA, he's hanging out with gangsters, and he went to the army because that's the only savior he had. I said, the world's going to know this last name. I said, you're going to be so proud of your last name. I never recognized old Patrick ever again. I believe there's never ever been a time in human history where we are more confused than we are today. Let me say this one more time. I believe there's never ever been a time in human history where people, you and I, are as confused as we are today. Let me explain to you why. You see, if you were to go back 1,000 years ago, and you and I are living in a family where our father's a farmer, what do you think we're going to do when we grow up? We're probably going to be farmers. What if your dad's a cobbler? You're probably going to be a cobbler. You're probably going to do what your father does. And you're probably going to marry somebody within the community because it's a small village. We don't have millions of different options, right? That's 1,000 years ago. Go back to 100 years ago. Maybe we have more options. But come to today. If you wanted to today, you have more choices and options today than ever before. On career, on religion, on politics, on social media, on content to consume, on dating. You have so many options today. Why commit to anything? Why commit to one career? Why believe in one philosophy? Well, so this whole thing has made it so challenging. Being an 18-year-old today has got to be the most challenging time ever to be 18 years old if you don't have the one currency, which I'll talk about here in a minute. And for me, I went to one place, one simple place. You see, every single year at the end of the year, I take a piece of paper and I write down, what was Pat like at 18? And I go 18, 19, 20, 21, all the way down to my age today. And I finish it with one thought. Here's what the one thought is. Is the 41-year-old Pat today hungrier, strategic, wiser, okay, than he was at 35? Meaning, if the 41-year-old Pat was to compete against the 35-year-old Pat, who would win? If the 41-year-old Pat were to go against the 40-year-old Pat, who would win? What is the difference between the 32-year-old Pat versus the 41-year-old Pat? What has changed? Now, sometime when you say this, a lot of people will say, well, Pat, I'm wiser than I've ever been before. Okay, all of us are, if you think about it. The more mistakes you make, you're going to be wiser. The more you travel, you're going to be wiser. The more books you read, the more new people you meet. Somehow, some way, more life experiences just means we become wiser, right? But hungrier, different story.
Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Am I supposed to be as hungry as I am, at 28, as at 40? Am I not supposed to be a little bit more calmer? Calmer, yes. Hungry, different story. Let me explain why. We have two people running for office today. Both of them are in their mid-70s, Sanders and Trump. And they are hungrier than anybody else today. Why is that? Is Trump hungrier today than he was at 40? Think about if the 75-year-old Sanders is going against the 40-year-old Sanders. Who's hungrier? Why? In any competitive environment, the moment you decide to compete, every morning you wake up, you fall into one of three categories. You're either a hunter trying to go find your prey, you're either someone's prey who's trying to hunt you, or you're collaborating with somebody else to go hunt for something bigger. Just like what just happened today with T-Mobile and Sprint, they came together to try to go against AT&T or Verizon once it gets approved. They're collaborating. But if you don't hunt anymore, you will be hunted. That's why sometimes business gets a black eye, because it's constant competition. So what's the solution to this? Here's what the solution is. If you're talking to yourself right now, you're asking yourself, you're 50 years old. Are you as hungry as you were at 40? I don't know. You got to answer that question. But if you're not as hungry as 40, you may be someone's prey today. Somebody may be coming after you today. And how do you get that hunger again? Very simple. Go back to when you were hungry and think about the state you were in. You'd watch a movie like Gladiator and you'd start getting emotional because you'd say, oh my gosh, I want so bad. I want that feeling of redemption like this guy has. It gave you power, it gave you strength, it gave you encouragement in ways nothing else was giving you at that time. When's the last time you felt that way? Huh? When's the last time you put yourself in a position to feel that way? When's the last time? Why not? Just because you're aging doesn't mean you shouldn't be hungrier. You ought to get hungrier because you have more tools and mechanism and strategy and ways of doing things better today. If you know how to concentrate on one thing, you have an edge. If you can be focused on one thing and not look at everything else that everybody else is looking at, 50 different philosophies, 75 different ways to make money, 19 different streams of income. If you can figure out where to go here, all of that stuff's going to come here. But if you go chase all the other stuff like everyone else is, you're going to miss the whole point of winning in life. Concentration today is the number one currency. You show me anyone today who knows how to concentrate, I'll show you someone that nobody wants to compete with because it's very intimidating to concentrate in today's time. I totally understand where you could be here today, but imagine if you could concentrate. What would life look like? Imagine if you went back and started being hungry like you once were before. Combine hunger and concentration. You know what you'd be capable of doing? Anything you want to do.
Ask the question when you're thinking big, why not you? And answer it. I'm not just doing this motivational video. Forget motivational, let's get logical. Why not you? Actually answer that. Why can't you be somebody that can do something in your business that's never been done before? Why not you? Answer it. So give the argument. Logically, here's why not me. Because I don't work hard enough. You can fix that. Stop being lazy. I'm not that good in sales. You can learn sales. I don't know much about the product. You can learn the product. Because no one in my family's been rich. So what? No one was rich in Zuckerberg's family before he became who he is today. And nobody was in Jobs. Jobs' mom even gave him up for adoption. So why not you? Make the argument. Why not you? Truly get into it. Then give the other argument. Why not you actually doing this? Why shouldn't you be the person? Take a sheet of paper and make that argument. Why not you? Question that a little bit. Who convinced you can't do it? I watch so many guys on YouTube that even some of these guys are considered experts by big magazines and they've written New York Times bestsellers, and they say some shit like, oh, you know, entrepreneurs are born. Give me a damn break. Entrepreneurship can be taught. Entrepreneurship is an inspiration that comes from here for some people that want to solve a bigger problem. Jumping 48 inches, that's God-given ability. You can't do that. Entrepreneurship, it is a formula. If you hang around other people that think like this and you watch this video, or some of the people that are feeding the right type of content to you and the right books you read, your imagination won't stop working. And don't let anybody convince you that people who solve some big problems and are big thinkers, they have to be born being big thinkers. I'm here to tell you, you can figure out the formula to thinking bigger. So why not you?